Ladies and gentlemen, today we stand on the edge of a profound realization, the discovery that who we are is not a fixed thing. It's not locked in stone or tethered to some unchangeable past. You are not a collection of yesterday's mistakes, nor are you a victim of future fears. Instead, you are infinite potential, unfolding moment by moment. A new you doesn't require you to become someone else. It's about peeling away the layers of illusions of limitation, fear, and doubt that mask your truest self. Let's dive into this journey together and explore what it means to embrace this fresh, liberated you. We are told what is acceptable and what is not, and slowly but surely we begin to construct a mask, a version of ourselves that we present to the world. It's a survival mechanism, a way to fit in, to be liked, to avoid rejection. But this mask, no matter how convincing it may appear, is not who we truly are. The mask is shaped by 1,000 little influences, the opinions of others, societal standards, cultural norms, and even our own fears and insecurities. These masks can feel so real, so necessary, that we forget they are not our true selves. What's most fascinating about this mask is that it's incredibly convincing, not just to others, but to ourselves. Over time, we start to believe that the mask is who we are. We identify with the labels we've been given. I am successful. I am a failure. I am shy. I am strong. These are not truths. They are stories. And the more we cling to these stories, the more we trap ourselves within the confines of the mask. The mask often serves as a form of protection, a way to shield ourselves from vulnerability. It allows us to hide our fears, our insecurities, and even our dreams. But while the mask may protect us from rejection or judgment, it also creates distance from others, and most tragically, distance from ourselves. When we live behind a mask, we are never fully seen, never fully known. We may find acceptance, but it's a hollow kind of acceptance because deep down we know it's not really us that's being accepted, it's the facade. There's also a profound cost to wearing this mask. It takes energy to maintain it. It takes effort to uphold the illusion, to suppress our true feelings, to mold ourselves into a shape that fits others' expectations. Over time, this can lead to a sense of exhaustion, a feeling that something is missing, that we are not truly alive. This is because the mask is static, but we are not. We are ever-changing, dynamic, and alive, and the mask cannot contain the fullness of our being. The truth is, the mask can never truly satisfy us. It might bring moments of validation or approval, but it can never fill the deeper longing within us, the longing to be seen and loved for who we truly are. That longing is the voice of your authentic self, calling out from beneath the layers of illusion, asking to be freed. For much of our lives, we operate under the belief that control is not only possible, but necessary. We believe that if we can just plan enough, prepare enough, or work hard enough, we can shape life into the perfect image we desire. We cling to control as if it were the steering wheel of a car, believing that by gripping it tightly, we can determine exactly where life will take us. But this belief that we can control life's outcomes is one of the greatest illusions we live under. Consider how often we try to control the uncontrollable. We try to dictate the behavior of others, hoping they'll act in ways that meet our expectations. We try to control how people perceive us, crafting our words and actions to fit the image we want to project. We plan our days, our weeks, our years as though life will obediently follow the script we've written. Yet time and time again, life refuses to cooperate. Plans unravel, people surprise us, and unforeseen circumstances appear out of nowhere. And when this happens, we often feel frustration, anger, or despair, not because life has done something wrong, but because it has revealed the truth. We were never in control to begin with. The illusion of control. It is not static, fixed, or predictable. Life is a flowing, ever-changing river, and our attempts to control it are like trying to grasp water in our fists. It slips through our fingers every time. The truth is, the need for control often stems from fear. We fear the unknown, so we try to control the future. We fear rejection, so we try to control how others see us. We fear failure, so we try to control every step of the process. But this constant need to control doesn't bring peace. It brings tension, anxiety, and an endless sense of striving. It keeps us locked in a state of resistance, fighting against the natural flow of life instead of moving with it. And here's the paradox. The more we try to control, the more out of control we feel. The tighter we grip, the more things seem to slip away. This is because control is a futile pursuit. Life's beauty lies in its unpredictability, its spontaneity, its ability to surprise us in ways we could never have imagined. By trying to control everything, we not only exhaust ourselves, but also rob ourselves of the joy that comes from embracing life as it is. Letting go of the illusion of control doesn't mean giving up or becoming passive. When we let go of the need to control, we create space for trust. Trust in ourselves, trust in others, and trust in life itself. We begin to see that even when things don't go according to plan, they often unfold in ways that lead to growth, transformation, and unexpected blessings. We discover that life's flow has a wisdom far greater than our limited minds could ever comprehend. In a world that constantly pulls our attention in 1,000 directions, the power of presence is both revolutionary and transformative. Why is this? Because we live much of our lives either replaying the past or rehearsing the future, rarely pausing to experience the richness of the present. Think about how often your mind drifts to what has already happened, regretting mistakes, replaying conversations, or wishing things had turned out differently. Then think about how frequently you project yourself into the future, worrying about what might happen, planning for every possible scenario, or fantasizing about some ideal outcome. These mental patterns are so habitual that they become the background noise of our lives, distracting us from the only moment that truly exists, now. The present moment is the only place where life actually happens. The past is gone, a memory stored in your mind. The future is yet to come, a realm of infinite possibilities that hasn't yet materialized. When you live in the past or future, but presence is more than just paying attention. It is a way of being. When you are present, you connect deeply with yourself, with others, and with the world around you. Your senses sharpen, your thoughts quiet, and you feel a profound sense of aliveness. Even the simplest moments, watching the sunset, savoring a meal, or listening to a loved one speak, become infused with beauty and meaning when you are fully present for them. Why does presence have such transformative power? Because it dissolves the barriers we create between ourselves and life. When you are present, you are no longer resisting what is. You are no longer caught up in judgments, expectations, or the stories you tell yourself. Instead, you are open, receptive, and fully engaged with reality. Presence allows you to step out of the incessant chatter of the mind and into the direct experience of being alive. Moreover, presence has the power to heal. When you bring your full awareness to the present moment, you begin to notice things you may have been avoiding or suppressing, emotions, sensations, or truths you were too busy to acknowledge. Presence shines a light on these aspects of yourself, allowing you to meet them with compassion and understanding. It is through this awareness that healing and transformation become possible. Presence also deepens your relationships. How often do we listen to someone while simultaneously planning what we're going to say next, or thinking about something else entirely? When you are present with another person, you offer them a rare gift, your undivided attention. They feel seen, heard, and valued in a way that it is profoundly nourishing. And in that shared space of presence, genuine connection becomes possible. But presence is not something that comes naturally in our distracted world. It is a practice, a choice we must make again and again. It begins with simple acts of mindfulness, paying attention to your breath, feeling the ground beneath your feet, or noticing the sensations in your body. These small moments of awareness act as anchors, pulling you back to the here and now. Over time, as you cultivate this practice, presence becomes less of an effort and more of a natural state. Presence does not mean that challenges and difficulties disappear. What it does mean is that you are able to meet those challenges with clarity, calm, and resilience. When you are present, you are not weighed down by the regrets of the past or the fears of the future. You are grounded in the strength of this moment. And in that groundedness, you discover a deep reservoir of peace and wisdom. The power of presence lies in its simplicity. It asks nothing extraordinary of you. It doesn't require you to fix, change, or achieve anything. All it asks is that you show up to your life, to your experience, to this moment. Letting go. Two simple words, but within them lies one of the greatest challenges and one of the greatest freedoms we can ever experience. Letting go is not just an action, it's an art, a practice that touches every aspect of life. At its core, it's about releasing the things we cling to that no longer serve us, the fears, beliefs, habits, grudges, and expectations that weigh us down and keep us stuck in cycles of pain and resistance. But letting go doesn't come naturally to most of us. Why? Because as humans, we are wired to hold on. We hold on to what is familiar, even if it causes us suffering. We hold on to the idea of how things should be, even when life clearly has other plans. We hold on to control, to certainty, to relationships that have run their course, and to identities that no longer reflect who we are. We hold on because letting go feels like a loss, as if releasing something means losing a part of ourselves. But in truth, letting go is not about losing. It's about creating space. Space for growth, space for new beginnings, space to be free. To understand the art of letting go, we must first understand why we cling in the first place. These stories, though comforting, are illusions. They keep us tethered to a past that no longer exists, or a future that may never come. Letting go begins with awareness. It starts with recognizing what we are holding on to and asking ourselves, why? Are we clinging to an old version of ourselves because we're afraid to embrace who we're becoming? Are we holding on to a relationship out of guilt or fear of being alone? Are we replaying a mistake over and over in our minds because we think punishing ourselves will somehow fix it? Awareness is the first step in letting go because it allows us to see our attachments for what they truly are, not truths, but habits of the mind. Once we are aware, the next step is acceptance. Letting go doesn't mean forcing ourselves to stop feeling a certain way or pretending we're unaffected by what's happened. It means fully accepting the reality of the moment, even if it's painful. It means acknowledging the hurt, the disappointment, the loss, and allowing ourselves to feel it without judgment. Acceptance is not weakness, it's courage. Acceptance is future. Acceptance is like saying, you know what, I'm in a separate life, it's okay, I make mistakes. It's the courage to face life as it is without trying to fight or fix it. Letting go also requires trust. Trust in ourselves, in the process of life, and in the idea that we are capable of thriving even without the things we're afraid to release. Often we cling because we believe that our happiness, security, or identity depends on the things we're holding on to. But the truth is, happiness doesn't come from clinging, it comes from freedom. Freedom to live in the present without being shackled by the weight of the past or the fear of the future. One of the greatest barriers to letting go is the illusion of control. We believe that if we hold on tightly enough, whether to people, outcomes, or ideas, we can bend life to our will. But control is an illusion. Life is not something we can dominate or dictate. It is fluid, unpredictable, and constantly changing. The more we try to control it, the more we struggle. Letting go means surrendering to the flow of life. It means trusting that even if things don't go as planned. Another essential aspect of letting go is forgiveness, not just of others, but of ourselves. When we forgive, we set ourselves free. Letting go is not a one-time event, it's an ongoing practice. Life will constantly present us with opportunities to release what no longer serves us. Each time we let go, we grow a little lighter, a little freer, and a little more aligned with our true selves. It's a process that requires patience, compassion, and courage. Some days it will feel effortless. Other days it will feel like the hardest thing in the world. But each time we choose to let go, we take a step toward liberation. The art of letting go teaches us one of life's most profound lessons, that nothing is permanent. We learn to dance with the rhythms of change, to embrace the beauty of impermanence, and to find peace in the uncertainty of it all. While the moment we're born, we're taught to see ourselves as separate individuals, distinct and apart from everything else. We're given a name, an identity, and a sense of self that feels uniquely ours. We draw imaginary lines between me and you, this and that, us and them. It's how we make sense of the world. But this sense of separateness, while practical, is ultimately an illusion, a veil that obscures a deeper truth. You are not separate from the world. You are the world, as much a part of it as the ocean is part of the earth, as much as a wave is part of the sea. To see this, we must first examine the interconnectedness of everything in existence. Consider your body for a moment. Every breath you take comes from the trees, the plants, and the air around you. The food you eat comes from the earth, grown in soil that's nourished by sunlight, rain, and the life cycles of countless organisms. Even the water you drink has been part of rivers, clouds, and oceans are millions of years before finding its way to your glass. What sustains you, what keeps you alive, is not separate from you. You are inextricably connected to the web of life that surrounds you. Yet this connection goes far beyond the physical. At a deeper level, the boundaries we perceive between ourselves and the world are constructs of the mind. Think about it. Where does you end and the world begin? Is it your skin? That reality is one of unity, of oneness, where the separation between you and the world dissolves. Science has begun to confirm what ancient spiritual traditions have long taught. We are fundamentally interconnected. On a quantum level, everything is energy, constantly interacting and influencing everything else. The atoms in your body were once part of stars, and one day they will return to the earth to become part of something else. Nothing in the universe exists in isolation. Everything is part of a vast, dynamic system, where each piece affects and is affected by the whole. When we see ourselves as separate, but when we begin to understand that we are not separate from the world, everything changes. This understanding shifts our perspective from one of division to one of connection. We begin to see that our well-being is tied to the well-being of others, that the health of the planet is inseparable from our own health, that the happiness we seek is not something we can take or hoard, but something that grows when we share it. This awareness brings a profound sense of belonging. You are not an outsider looking in. You are not a solitary being navigating a hostile universe. You are the universe, expressing itself as a human being. The rivers, the mountains, the stars, they are not out there. They are within you. This interconnectedness also brings responsibility. If you are not separate from the world, then your actions ripple outward, affecting everything and everyone around you. Every choice you make, what you consume, how you treat others, how you speak, how you live, contributes to the collective reality we all share. But this responsibility is not a burden, it's an opportunity. It's a chance to participate consciously in the unfolding of life, to contribute to the beauty and harmony of the world in a way that uplifts not just yourself, but everything you touch. And yet this understanding is not about losing yourself. It's not about dissolving into the world or abandoning your individuality. On the contrary, it's about realizing that your individuality, your unique perspective, talents, and essence enriches the whole, just as every wave in the ocean is unique. When you truly embrace the fact that you are not separate from the world, a deep peace emerges. You no longer feel the need to constantly prove yourself because you understand that you already belong. You no longer feel the same fear of change because you see that change is simply life expressing itself. You no longer feel so alone because you recognize that you are part of something vast, infinite, and eternal. This realization doesn't mean life will always be easy or free of challenges, but it does mean that you approach those challenges with a sense of connection rather than isolation, with love rather than fear, and with the understanding that every moment, every experience, every breath is a reflection of the same beautiful truth. You are the world and the world is you. The beauty of authenticity is that it liberates not only yourself, but also those around you. When you have the courage to stand in your truth. So let this be your call to action. Choose authenticity, even when it's hard. Choose to show up as you are, not as who you think you should be.